It is 1:30 Universal Time. I'm Jim Tedder in Washington. The trial of former Iraqi leader Saddam Hussein will continue on Thursday. He is being tried for the killing of more than 140 Shiite Muslims. The trial began 6 months ago. One of his lawyers was ordered to leave the court Wednesday when she began showing pictures of Iraqi prisoners at the Abu Ghraib jail. Saddam and 7 others face death if they are found guilty of the killings. Iraqi government lawyers plan a separate trial for him on other charges. Also in Iraq, 2 cars carrying bombs exploded in Baghdad Wednesday. The separate explosions killed at least 1 person and injured about 30 others. Police in Nepal have arrested many pro-democracy activists ahead of a planned 4-day nationwide strike. An alliance of 7 political parties called the strike to urge King Yanindra to re-establish democracy. Earlier, the government of Nepal ordered a nighttime curfew in Kathmandu. The government says rebels plan to use the strike to enter Kathmandu and incite violence. Opposition leaders say the strike will go on as planned. In New York, United Nations Secretary-General Kofi Annan expressed concern about the reported arrests of many Nepalese opposition leaders. In Thailand, Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra has given his official duties to Deputy Prime Minister Chitchai Wanasatit. Mr. Chitchai will lead the country until a new government can be formed. Mr. Thaksin resigned Tuesday after elections showed 1/3 of voters opposed him. The political opposition is welcoming his resignation, but the political dispute probably will not end soon. Mr. Thaksin continues as head of Thailand's ruling party. Protesters say they will restart demonstrations if Mr. Thaksin continues as head of the ruling party. In France, leaders of the 2 largest labor groups have met with officials of the ruling party about ways to end the crisis over a disputed youth jobs law. The labor leaders told French media the politicians listened to their demands and said they would answer after meeting with other labor groups. Earlier, the main French labor and student groups demanded that the French government end the new jobs law before April 17th. They said they are not interested in negotiating changes to the law. They also called for another day of action on April 11th to protest the law. On Wednesday, protesters blocked roads across France. Sudan says it will permit the United Nations Emergency Aid Chief to visit the Darfur area. The statement comes 3 days after Sudan barred his flight to the area. The Sudanese Foreign Ministry said the government had only asked Jon Egeland to delay his visit and said he would be welcome later. The UN aid official told Reuters news agency that he would not be able to return immediately because of work in other parts of Africa. He also said the situation in Darfur was not a game. You are listening to the news in VOA Special English. American Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice has urged Congress to support the Bush administration's nuclear deal with India. Ms. Rice said that civil nuclear cooperation with India would not increase nuclear weapons competition in South Asia. Some Senate members of the Democratic Party said the deal could harm international support for the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. India has not signed the nuclear treaty. They also expressed concerns about India's nuclear cooperation with Iran. In Pakistan, President Pervez Musharraf has met with American State Department official Richard Boucher. General Musharraf reportedly said that nuclear power and other forms of energy would be needed to meet Pakistan's expanding energy needs. President Bush has urged the United States Senate to quickly reform the country's immigration system. But the leader of the Senate Judiciary Committee says he expects discussion to continue after Congress's 2-week holiday beginning on Monday. Mr. Bush spoke after meeting Wednesday with congressional leaders. He said the measure should recognize the foreigners who are working hard in jobs that Americans do not want. He also said the United States does not need a pardon for the millions of people who entered the country illegally. The United States Senate is divided on how to reform the immigration system. Some lawmakers want to give illegal workers a way to earn permanent citizenship. Others say such a move would demonstrate approval of illegal actions. United Nations health officials say another 250,000 chickens must be killed in the Gaza Strip. The birds are being killed in an effort to stop the spread of the deadly H5N1 bird flu virus. Nearby, Israel has already destroyed 1 million birds. World Health Organization officials warned Wednesday that the health threat to the heavily populated Gaza Strip is extremely serious. Also, WHO official Ambrogio Manetti warned that the loss of so many chickens could lead to a lack of protein for the people of the area. The Islamic group Hamas has denied that Palestinian Foreign Minister Mahmoud al-Zahar wrote of a two-state answer to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Mr. al-Zahar wrote in a letter to United Nations leader Kofi Annan that the Palestinians want to live in freedom side by side with Israel. His wording could have meant recognition of Israel. Hamas has rejected calls to recognize Israel and denounce violence. Earlier, Palestinian Prime Minister Haniyeh told the first full meeting of his cabinet that the Palestinian Authority has no money. But the finance minister said he hopes to receive $80 million from Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and the United Arab Emirates. Briefly, here again is the major news. The trial of former Iraqi leader Saddam Hussein continues Thursday in Baghdad. Police in Nepal have arrested several pro-democracy activists ahead of a planned 4-day nationwide strike. And in Thailand, Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra has given his official duties to the Deputy Prime Minister Chitchai Wanasatit. That's the news in Special English. Jim Tedder reporting.